And welcome on in week 8 in the NFL, wagerweekly.com. Glad you're here as always. Paul Nolan breaking down your Sunday card. We're going to go to your final game for week 8. That, of course, is Monday night. Las Vegas on the road to Detroit. So much for the Raiders' 2-game little winning streak there, Paul Nolan. Josh McDaniels, of course, learns why there's a reason that 38-year-old Brian Hoyer's lost 13 consecutive starts. Well, he's just not that good.
Yeah, you think?
Now they go to see a Detroit team who really, for the most part this year, has looked extremely good. What do you see here in this game on Monday night to wrap up a week 8?
Look, Dan Campbell's like, if this was Viking times, he'd have a clan. Like, he's the guy that everyone would follow because he's just smart enough. He's completely, he's gigantic and athletic and a complete animal, but he's got a huge heart, and his team really has taken on his personality. So the embarrassment that we had on the Baltimore game was one of our best bets last week. Was one of those dream bets, where you're never sweating it. You're never worried about it. You're not worried about getting shot in the foot the last minute for no reason by your own team. It's just such a good spot for Goff and this team to get right. But Garoppolo, if he plays, has been so good at night. He's been real good on the road. He's been one of those guys who you can count on in the prime time. And, it seems like the bigger moments, he's been pretty darn good, even though he's as average as it gets as a quarterback. I mean, he personifies average to just slightly above average in terms of the metrics, but he facilitates an offense. He does a good job. But we're looking at a coaching mismatch when you talking about coordinators, because I do believe Detroit's going to lose some of their coordinators. And, this team has got, real great leadership in that locker room. It's a good locker room. The Raiders locker room is a disaster right now. There's a lot of grumblings, people I'm reading, people I know telling me that this locker room is really at odds. There's no discipline. There's really, there's nothing going on in there. So I'm talking about this Detroit team right now, especially in a teaser, because this is a great week for teasers. There's a lot of those long teasers where you could slide through from 8.5 down to 1 or pick them, 7.5 as well. Like you look at like KC, that's a prime spot for a teaser. Now Green Bay slides itself up plus 1.5 on a 6.5 points. It gets to 8. That's a nice spot to be in. There's a couple others like the Pittsburgh Steelers plus 2.5 at home now goes to plus 8.5 or 9 on a 2-team tease in what's going to be a muddied weather game. So there's a lot of great options in terms of teaser bets with all these, teams hovering around 1 or 2 or pick them, and even teams around 9.5 and 7. If Baltimore, drops down to 9 again, you can cut that one through to 2.5. Really well worth it. Same thing for me. There's a couple other games. Forgive me. Even like the Giants. I mean, as ugly as that team has been, 3 to 6, plus 6 is 9. There's a lot of good value. So you can mix and match and do round robins with those this week, or take some long odd parlays, do 5-teamers plus 250, 300 in that range on those teaser bets. And they should be fun and they should be profitable this week. I can't imagine this kind of week, things getting away from one another. So I definitely like Detroit. In my teaser bets, I like Detroit. In my survivor pool, I have one spot left in the Circa Survivor. I'd like to win that. I can use the $6 million. It would really, I like to put that in the kitty with the rest of my money. So I'll be on that for most likely, especially if I find out Brian Hoyer is going to start this game, which is obviously doubtful. But at the time of this recording, we just simply don't know who's going to play. I can't see it not being Garoppolo, because this Raider team season is on the line, and Josh McDaniels' career is on the line as well.
Yeah, I'm with you on Detroit. I think they bounce back. 4 straight double-digit victories before the Baltimore disaster. But let's face it, this is a defense that does not do well facing mobile quarterbacks, and there's no more of a disastrous mobile quarterback that's going to give you fits than obviously Lamar Jackson. So I'm with you on Detroit. Minus the 8 at home. 46 is your total. Las Vegas coming to town on Monday night. That's a week 8 in the NFL right here at wagerweekly.com.